everybody, my name is Amy. Welcome back to my channel. This is a stitch with me. Hopefully it stays in focus. I'm kind of struggling a little bit because I am not enjoying recording with a separate camera. Apparently, hold on, let me back up. Oh, I had a sneeze. Okay, so welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy. This is a stitch with me. I think I said that already. This is a channel about all things crafting, mostly cross stitch and diamond painting, mostly cross stitch, but I also do crochet and sew and whatever else floats my boat. So in this stitch with me, I keep sneezing. We are doing, I don't think I can show you. I'm going to be trying to finish up the Linen and Threads 2020 Friends and Family Sampler. I'm almost done, and right now I'm working on this piece here. Then I will come into this piece, and that is it. That's all we have to do. So I don't know what, so this is October's piece, and then this is December. So I'm hoping I will get this done. I started stitching this up and it was stitching up pretty quickly. Yesterday I finished this guy, I did this guy, and I don't think I've done this small guy yet just because he's a little bit too far for placement because he goes here and I don't like counting that far over because I end up messing up the count. So yeah, anyway, I don't like recording on a camera because they only have 30-minute time limits. I freaking hate that. So I was trying to figure out like how do I fix this time limit thing. I think you guys are okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and start stitching. How do I fix this time limit thing? I couldn't figure it out, and apparently, oh, my needle just, I think we're okay. Apparently when you buy a camera, I was going to say this stitch, the amount of time that your camera records is dependent, obviously, on what type of camera you buy. However, if you can't afford like a DSLR, because DSLRs can record, you know, longer periods of time, and I don't think they have any recording limit like these ones. I'm recording on an Canon PowerShot ELPH 360, and there's a 30-minute recording limit, so it stops recording at 30 minutes. Sometimes it stops recording like at 20. I don't know, it's just freaking weird. So I was trying to figure out like what the deal is, and apparently it has something to do with like taxes when they're making cameras. Like in order to make the camera be affordable, it has to have a recording limit, otherwise like the taxes go up. I don't freaking know. It's like the dumbest shit that I've ever heard. So anyway, I don't know, it's frustrating. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to keep talking during this because sometimes my kids get up and then I just switch to a voiceover. And so I just kind of wanted to come on here and greet you guys and give you my little rant for today, why I was irritated. And I just found this out. I thought there was like some kind of setting that I could do that would like change that. Nope, there's not. So yeah. So I'm not like a nitpicky stitcher. I don't have like a particular way that I lay my stitches, and that's probably gonna bother some of you people. So the only thing that I know is that I do I'll show you right now, watch. Let me get this. I do this diagonal first, always this diagonal, the one that leans back. Always, always, always do that one first. And then I come up for the next leg in it doesn't matter what hole I come up in, it just depends on the surrounding stitches. So sometimes I can't come up in the hole that I want to come up in because it's too tight, or maybe I'm anchoring a thread down, and if I pull through that way it's going to undo my thread or like make it puffy. So I always lay this leg down, but even then I don't lay that leg down a particular way either. So, and I feel like my stitches all look the same. for the most part, and I don't notice. I'm not entering these in any contest, so I don't feel like I need to really worry about that. So for those of you who want to be a stitching Karen or the stitchy police and complain that I'm doing my stitches the wrong way, well, I don't have time for you. Just letting you know. So anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and go to voiceover for the rest of this. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the stitch with me. As always, I will do a time lapse as well. I happen to like watching the time lapses. If you don't watch it. But I think it's neat. So we'll see how much I actually get done. I might try to do 2 30-minute sessions on here to make it longer, because like I said last time when I did my diamond paint with me, it wasn't like one video ended up being like 18 minutes and the one ended up being like 13 minutes and then it just stopped recording. I don't know why. But when I do the voiceovers, it allows me to not have any missing words, because sometimes I'm recording and I'm talking and then it'll have like a couple of seconds where it's like saving the video before it shuts off, and then it doesn't record those last few seconds of what I was saying, so there's a gap in my words, and I don't like that either. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna stop here and I will switch over to voiceover for the rest of this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so here we are at the voiceover. So like I was saying, when I was uploading, I have to import this video into my phone from my camera because I have the S20 and there is no SD card, so that sucks. But anyway, the camera only recorded, I had to do it in 2 different sessions. The first session was only 18 minutes and then the second session was 17 minutes. It's not even a full 30 minutes. I don't know why I'm not getting the full 30 minutes. This was exactly what happened to me when I did the diamond paint with me. It was the exact same thing. It was 17 minutes and 18 minutes. And so it's frustrating because I know it's supposed to be 30-minute clips and it's not a storage issue, because why would it record an 18-minute video and then still allow me to record another video of almost the exact same time if there was limited storage space? So I don't know, unless I have to see how many gigabytes 18 minutes takes up, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the limit per file. I don't know. It's so freaking strange and it pisses me off. And I see why these cameras are good for vloggers, because they very rarely record 18 minutes all in one chunk because they're always stopping and going. It's still very frustrating. I have half a mind to get me the S22. Wait, I think I have the S21 right now, and the S22 just came out, and I'm thinking of getting it. Except that I'm not done paying this phone off, and I have half a mind to pay this phone off. I'm more than halfway done paying it off. Pay this phone off, use this one to record, and then keep my S22 as my personal phone. The problem is that, so I recently changed my number, and what I did was I deleted Facebook. So I no longer have a Facebook account, and I lost access to a lot of my games because I no longer have Facebook, and that freaking sucks. And so some of the games that I'm currently playing, there's no way to save the game because it doesn't let you back up through email or your Google Play account. It's just the stupidest thing I've ever freaking heard. So I don't know. It would solve a lot of problems for me though, as far as keeping, because I have 2 email accounts that are personal email accounts, and I've been having so many issues with some of my apps that I pay for, like my editing app. It's a quarterly subscription, and I have issues paying that because it wants to constantly link to my other account, even though I have it linked to a different account. It's a freaking headache. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to make my bills lower, not higher. So it's just one of those things, you know, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, I don't know. It's about that time to record another Flosstube. I just don't think I have time right now to record another Flosstube because I'm in the middle of designing the tags for this month's floss of the month, and I honestly don't know how I want them. And they take me a couple of days, and it's frustrating because I was wanting to get them out before spring break, and spring break's in just a couple of days, and I'm planning on going out of town. And so, like, I'm frustrated with that because I don't know, like, what I want to do, because I have to at least have them all printed by before I go to spring break, because I can always take them with me to do them because I'm going to go to my mom's, and I can work and ship from there, which is fine, but it's still frustrating that I don't like, I don't know, I want like a whole new design. And I was initially planning on ordering some custom tags from a printing website, and I found a place that will do the holes for me. But the problem is I still can't settle on a design, and I kept designing it over and over and over in my phone, and then I kept not liking it, and then I kept forgetting to leave room for the hole at the bottom. And it's so hard to design something on your phone when you don't have like the aspect ratio to make sure that everything's where you want it to be, and that's what's frustrating for me. And so that's why like I'm still kind of wanting to design it at home. But punching all those holes individually is not fun, and it really hurts my fingers. And at the same time, like I want them to be a good size, but I'm also using like a thick paper for the design. And so it's like I bought a different hole punch that's more like not a paper hole punch, for one, because the holes are bigger, but still, like, it still takes time to punch each one of those holes individually. And right now we're at about 100 or so orders of floss, and so I think I'm gonna sit at that for a little bit. I do still have a couple of spaces open, and so if you guys are interested in signing up, you need to get your spots now, because I can't guarantee when I'm gonna open up new spots for floss of the month once those are full. I'm just fully making you guys aware of that. But yeah, I don't know. Today is what's today? The 15th, I think. So yeah, I cannot believe how much gas has gone up, you guys. Can you? It's mind blowing. I remember when I was in high school, we could put $4 and it would get us cruising like the whole weekend. When I was in high school, 20 bucks would fill up my car, and it would take me to Arizona and back, because I didn't live with my parents and they lived in Arizona. I lived in New Mexico, and 20 bucks would fill the car up, drive me all the way to their house, all the way back, and still have gas for like Monday and Tuesday at school, like to get me to school. It's just freaking crazy. And then the other day, I think the pump stops at $75, because I put $75 like 2 weeks ago, filled up my car. Yes, Sunday, a couple days ago, put gas. And, you know, I put my card in at the pump and I let it go, and it stopped at $75. So I was like, oh, that's weird. I was fully expecting to pay more than that, because gas went up like 50, 70 cents in that time frame. And so when I saw that the pump was the same, I was like, okay, that's not bad, because I know I had way less gas. So I noticed the next day, I didn't even check when I got in the car, because I'm so used to it filling up properly, that when I checked the next day, I had only went one place, which wasn't far, and I didn't even have a full tank. I was like, what in the hell? I was still short like 1/8 of a tank, and my car doesn't waste that much gas. So I was like, I was very annoyed at that. Man, you guys. So I'm considering moving to Arizona. It's one of those things. You know, I still haven't really done a full story time, and it's simply because I just haven't had the time. I actually think I might get the time this week to do a proper story time regarding like why I was missing for so long and all that kind of nonsense. But yeah, moving to Arizona. My mom lives in Arizona, and here in New Mexico, I was here for my ex-husband's family. So we decided to move here because I was close enough to my family. I didn't want to live in my hometown because I absolutely hate it. And I figure, well, I'm like an hour and a half away from my closest relatives, and then 3 hours away from my mom, 3.5 hours, depending. And we lived in Colorado previous to this, and that was about, I don't know, 8 hours at least, another 12 to my mom, 13 hours sometimes, so it was a huge improvement that I was where I was at here. Plus, it's driving distance for everybody. If, there was occasions where my mom and my stepdad got a wild hair and they ended up coming and visiting us, which doesn't happen often, but it did happen. But I ended up, I'm pretty sure I'm going to move to Arizona. The problem is finding a place to live because rent is expensive. I pay quite a bit of rent here, and I did move in during the pandemic. So when I moved in, COVID had already been here for a year. And I moved in here, so prices had already gone up a little bit, and it's a good thing that I moved in when I did, because now the cost of these, I live in a townhouse, the cost of these townhouses is like $300-400 more than what I paid moving in 8 months ago. So I've lived here, let me see, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, 9 months ago. So almost 10 months ago. I've lived here for almost a year. And in that time frame, that rent has gone up that like $300-400 for the square footage of the townhouse that I live in, because there's different, ones and stuff. And I was staying at my dad's guest house, and it's like a studio guest house. It's like, I don't know, 350 square feet. So it was tiny. And I was staying there with my two girls. We had our whole life shoved into that guest house. Plus, I couldn't really work my business because it was so crowded. It was hard. And, so I decided to go ahead and move out. And I had a feeling that if I didn't move out when I did, I wasn't going to be able to move out later. Plus, I didn't want to move my kids' schools and things like that, because I have no intentions of living in my hometown. So even if I did live there temporarily, I was still going to want to move again. And I didn't want to do that to my kids, like moving twice. So, I decided to find one here close enough to their school that I don't have to change their schools, and there's essentially no change for them in that aspect. And ended up moving here. So the problem is that rent has gone up so much. I don't even think I could afford a place to stay on a single income in the places that I'm looking at in Arizona, unless I decide to buy something. And I don't think I'm ready to buy something. I've managed to clear a lot of my debt out, but I haven't managed to clear out enough that I've been able to save money. Not only that, but I'm raising 3 kids on a single income. I get no help from anybody. Essentially, my son's dad, my oldest son, he helps significantly with my son. But other than that, like, I'm essentially taking care of everything on my own, and it's hard. It is very hard raising a family on one income. I'm the only adult, and I say one income because Mystical Diamond Art doesn't bring in enough money to count it as income. And I did just change camera positions here because that was the gap where the first recording stopped and I had to restart the clip. So that's why the change in position. I thought this one might be better, and I do end up bumping it several times. And don't worry, this is a free pattern, so I'm not worried about you guys catching a glimpse of part of it. I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, one income. Mystical Diamond Art. I don't consider Mystical Diamond Art a steady enough income to count it as like having another stream of income, because there's some months where I make $0, and there's some months where I can make anywhere between $500 and $2,000. So it's just so like sporadic. Like, for example, last year, at the end of last year, I would say November, December, and January, I made $0 every single month. $0. I barely broke even between shipping costs and inventory, like for shipping supplies and stickers and labels and things like that. I barely broke even. You know, February was a little bit better, but still barely enough to break even. And, you know, coming into March, you know, like I said, it's just not reliable enough. I make $0 from YouTube or any other social media platform. So there it is. But anyway, enough about that. I haven't decided yet how I'm going to do like the full life update, what I'm going to title it, you know, things like that, because I pay attention to how many minutes of my videos are actually being viewed, and nobody, based on the time that's being watched, watches my videos in their entirety, especially my floss tubes. So what I'm considering is making shorter floss tubes, first of all, because I've noticed that hour-long floss tubes don't do well on my channel. So I think I'm going to try to keep them to under 45 minutes. I think even that's kind of pushing it. I'm going to try to stick to the 30-40 minute range and see, maybe that's the audience that I need to go for. You know, I tend to have a lot to show. However, my tastes have changed, my aspirations have changed, and the things that I want to be working on and spending my time on has changed. And so I'm hoping that that will cater more to the audience that's actually watching my videos. I don't know, we'll see. I didn't even check the time on this video. I know 18 and 17, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10, 20, 8. So I think I still have about 10 minutes left of voice recording. I didn't check. So I wanted to tell you guys, if you've made it this far, and you haven't checked out my Patreon, I did change the tiers on my Patreon. I cut some tiers out to make it less decisive, I guess is the right word, because I felt like there was just too many options. And it was also hard to keep up with that many tiers. So I did delete, I believe, 2 tiers, maybe 3 tiers. And I added a tier in that's called uncensored. So the uncensored tier is things that you're not going to see by following me on Instagram. You're not going to see them by following my business account on Instagram. And you're not going to see them by following me on YouTube or watching my regular crafting YouTube videos. So I'll still be sharing some crafty stuff on there. It's going to be more the rough, nitty gritty areas of my crafting, like the things that piss me off or frustrate me about crafting, and also personal endeavors in my life that I do that you cannot find anywhere else. I don't want to get too detailed into it, but it's going to be super personal things. For those of you who like my charming personality, you might want to consider subscribing to the uncensored tier on my Patreon, because I like to think that you won't regret it. Right now I have 2 videos up and I'm getting ready to post a 3rd. And I find it very easy actually to post content on that channel because I don't have to hide anything. And that's more the idea behind that tier. Now keep in mind, I can remove accounts that are following me. And so if you are somebody who is following me to go spy or gossip, I will know and I can remove your account. You know, just it is what it is. Believe it or not, I have people like that. So yeah, I might also go into detail about the rougher aspects of my divorce, including harassment, sexual abuse, regular abuse, physical abuse. I don't want to say regular, I mean like physical abuse, restraining orders, that type of thing. So if you're also interested in that, that is all going to be on the uncensored. I just started the tier, I don't know, a week or 2 ago, maybe 2 weeks. And so it's not fully loaded, but it'll get there. And then I have, you know, some less expensive tiers for those who just want general support or want to get to know me in a different way as well. I like to think that all of us have a different side, and we're not all who we show on YouTube in our floss tubes. You know, we might come across as some, you know, a different personality type than we actually are. And, you know, for the people who want to get to know other people, then I think that's perfect. like there was a few people that I had subscribed to their Patreon before when, you know, my finances were a little bit better, who, you know, if I hadn't done that, like I would have no idea that they did so many cool things, had I not subscribed to like their personal Patreon to kind of get that background information. And it's cool. I like it. I think it's fun getting to know somebody like that, especially somebody that you feel like you would genuinely like in real life. That's how I feel anyway. And here I did stop stitching because I ran out of needles. So in this project, what I have found is I like to work with 4 needles. Honestly, I have 2 more projects that I'm working in variegated thread like this, and I think because floss is 6 strands, I think I'm gonna work with 6 needles so that I can load up every strand of floss that I pull off. I can load up all 6 strands and not have to, like, because with 4 needles, the first time I load the floss, I have 2 strands left over, right? And then the second time I load the floss, I have 4 strands left over. And then the third time I load the floss, I have 0 strands. So it takes me 3 loads before I'm left with nothing. Sometimes I totally didn't cut myself off there. I don't know how that happened. But sometimes the leftover strands of floss that I have get lost. They fall on the floor, or I end up picking them up on accident and stitching them into the current work. I try to kind of put them out of the way, but these ones that I'm working with are so silky. You know, you have like silk and satin clothing items. They don't really fold well, and they're kind of slippery and all over the place. That's what these do. So I lose track of them a lot. So yeah, and this is a floss right here that I don't want to lose because I don't want to go back to Hobby Lobby. So the skein that I'm working with right here, this piece, I've already finished this whole motif that I'm doing here. It's quite large, but I've already finished it. I'm coming down on these 2 legs of the motif right here, and I've already gone back up the other side of the V and filled in the middle. And I've already started on one of the 2 last motifs that I have to do, and I think I'm about halfway done with one of those as well. And I'm almost done with this skein that I have that I was working on in this video, and I only have 1 more left. So I am hoping and praying that I have enough with that last skein, because I don't want to go to Hobby Lobby and buy another one, because unfortunately that is where I purchased this floss at, and we all know that I don't support Hobby Lobby, as a lot of us don't. If you do, more power to you. I don't care who you support and what you do. If it doesn't affect me, I'm not going to make a big deal about it, but I don't feel comfortable supporting them, and I don't want to support them. So there's that. This video is almost over, I think. And I keep getting interrupted. My daughter keeps calling me and asking questions, which is fine. I don't care. One of my kids is actually still homeschooled. Just a more mess when I go into detail later about all the bullshit. So yeah, my middle child actually stays home, and she does Zoom. Well, they call it VLA here, which is Virtual Learning Academy, and so she does that. It's very hard. I don't recommend it. I'm not a whoa, I almost dropped my phone. What is it called? I'm not that kind of parent who wants my kids around all the time. I know that sounds so bad, but you know, I think the social interaction is great. I had a really great childhood with lots of friends, and had some of the best years of my life with my friends, and I want that for my kids as well, and none of my kids are like that. And so I think it's healthy for them to be around other people, because it gives them the social experience that they need, because I am a very super duper introvert, and it took me years and years as an adult to learn how to people and to be an adult, and to even, I was so shy that I wouldn't even ask for help at a grocery store. I would be so I don't want to say scared, but I didn't like asking cashiers or grocery store workers or anybody like where an item was, or like if I had to go to customer service, like I would have to rehearse what I was going to say. That's how freaking bad I was. And I don't want that for my kids. I really don't. I want them to be more self-sufficient, I guess is the right word. And I can't teach them that. Like I could barely figure it out myself, and I don't want my kids to go through that, if that makes sense. I hope I'm not making too much noise. I'm not dressed yet. I spend my mornings working. I shower at night, work in the morning, and then I spend like the time anytime between 12 and 1:30 getting ready. Really, I don't take that whole entire time, but at some point during that time I get up and get ready, get dressed, do my hair, that kind of thing, because I got to pick up my other kid at 2, and then usually by then I'm done with my work, and I can kind of get a handle on some other stuff. So today is floss dyeing. I gotta dye floss and really hammer out the final design for the floss tags that I'm going to be making, as well as what else? Finishing laundry, because my son keeps stealing the washing machine. And I think that's it. I want some stitchy time in, but I don't know if I'm going to get it, because I have to get the floss dyed, because it needs to be dyed, cut, and separated in the next 3 days. Yeah, 3 days. And then I will see what happens after that. I don't think I mentioned this, but we had some family pets, and the apartment that I moved into doesn't allow pets. And so I went ahead and I didn't get the pets. I went ahead and took possession of them anyway, because the situation with my ex-husband was not great. And so I took 1 dog and 2 cats. And we got in trouble. So they were going to charge me $500 unauthorized pet fee, as well as $50 more per month rent per animal. And that is outrageous. First of all, we couldn't have dogs, so I'd have to pay the unauthorized pet fee anyway for the dog. And that was going to be $500, because it was $250 for the dog and $250 for the cats. And I'd still have to pay the $250 for the dog, and then still get rid of her. And so she's actually going to go live with a close friend. Actually, my son's dad. She's going to go live with him for however long I need. And that's another reason why I'm hoping to be able to move, because I can't expect everybody to take care of my pets for me. And then the cats, the townhouse that I live in is actually cat friendly. The complex is actually cat friendly. However, I can't afford $50 more per month rent per pet. That's just outrageous. It's another $100, and $100 might not be a big deal to you if I get to keep my animals, but it's a big deal to me on my income, especially when I'm trying to move out. So it's one of those things. So my sister in Arizona is actually going to take them, which is better for me, because I'm hoping to get to Arizona anyway. And so when I do eventually find a place that I can get them again, it's going to be better, as far as getting them back and stuff. So it's just going to be finding the place, hopefully. So right now, I'm supposed to take the dog on Friday when spring break starts, when I take my son to his dad's. And right now I'm paying to have her boarded, which is going to put another huge dent in my finances, because she's at the kennel. I don't really want to call it a kennel. So they call it a luxury spa and daycare. So they do daycare, and they do spa day, and they do play dates, and they do one-on-one time, and they do what do they call it? Day camp and evening camp and all sorts of camps. Of course, everything's extra. They can get pampered, they can just go there to hang out. And she just goes and hangs out. I let her go to day camp, which is an additional $10 a day. which is at like certain hours of the day. They let them out and they run around and they play and they do treats and all sorts of stuff. So I mean, it's okay. It's still very expensive. So yeah. Oh, here's the vinyl I was looking for. Is it permanent? Yes. I was wanting to make me a supernatural protection symbol to put on my Jeep, and I wanted black. The problem is that this is glossy and I wanted matte, but the price of vinyl has like doubled. And I knew that I had some, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna deal with whatever I have. And this is what I have. So yeah, I'm surprised that this clip is still going. Why isn't the time showing up? I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. It might just be the way I'm doing it. And I keep cutting myself off. I have to, this is already like the third time I've had to restart my recording. Not restart, but keep adding a new clip because I keep accidentally backing out of the voiceover, which is a good thing that it's saved, like it pauses it and it doesn't allow you to click any buttons until you save or delete the voiceover, which is good. I see the end. So yeah, okay guys, I'm gonna export this and I'm gonna do the time lapse, and hopefully I was entertaining enough for you guys to watch the whole thing. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.